as the guests on the Hair Nation show on Monday. And then on this show, we'll see. Maybe we'll do a free-for-all. Maybe something will come up over the weekend. We'll see. But let's get back to the phones right now. Pick it up with Eric in Pittsburgh. He's up next. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eddie. How's it going?
Good, Eric. What's up?
Well, first I want to give a shout-out to Sebastian Bach. He is the funniest fucking guy, man, and I would listen to him for hours, either as your co-host or if he had his own show. So I just wanted to say that because he's just infectious sometimes.
Well, I'm sure he appreciates that, and we'll have him back on again when I get back out to Vegas. We'll do another show with him, I'm sure, soon.
All right, cool. So what I called about is, so your idea for this top 10 thing, I'm not really a fan of because
it's actually, by the way, Eric, let me jump in on that. By the way, it's actually not my idea. It's actually the guy you just mentioned, true. Sebastian's idea. He brought it up to me at dinner the other day.
All right, well, I take back what I said earlier. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So the reason why is because, okay, so for a band that has like 2 or 3 releases, I get it. But beyond that, I rely on the top 20 to turn me on to like deeper tracks or tracks that I haven't heard in ages to turn me back on to them or turn me on to them in the first place. And that happened from Van Halen, Priest, all the bands that I loved, but I haven't heard their shit in a while, or it was just deep tracks that I just didn't delve into. So I really prefer the top 20 idea, unless it's a band with, not many releases, you know what I'm saying, if you wanted to do that.
Well, Sebastian actually brought it up in relation to Skid Row, because he said if you ever did a Skid Row top whatever, you should make it top 10, because most people are going to be focused on the first 2 records, and that's 20 songs or 19 songs, whatever it is, and that way it would make it way tougher. To do a 20 on a band like Skid Row would be, most people would just have the first 2 records on their 20, so that was the idea there.
Right, but I mean, they still got some other stuff that, me or other people could still be turned on to. And, that being said, a lot of your top 20s on bands, like take a Metallica, most of the top 20 is geared towards their first 4 or 5 or whatever it is, let's be honest. But the ones that throw in some of the other tracks, I can get turned on to, and start digging into it. And also, before you let me go, which I understand, have you done a Motley Crue top 20? Because if not, why are you doing them before Rat? All due respect to Rat, love them. But where's the Motley top 20?
Well, first of all, no, I haven't. And Eric, you know what? It would be, and thanks, Eric, for calling. Motley would be smart to do, especially given the tour that it looks like is thankfully finally going to happen. So I would not be opposed to that at all, and timing on that would be good. But everybody keeps talking about the Rat 20, which is not the next one. That's just been floated out there by you guys, not me. I said the next one is Scorpions. That's what I've been saying all along, because Scorpions just put out a new record. Scorpions are about to start their run of shows in Vegas. So I've been, and maybe this weekend I'll hone in on when I can do Scorpions. And then a few people said Rat, and then a few people took it upon themselves to do Rat 20s when I didn't even say we're doing it. And then the other day when I was at dinner with Piercy, I mentioned it to him, and he said he'd sit in on it if we did it. So that's all good stuff, and we'll get to it. But I agree we should do Motley, and I also agree that but Scorpions probably should be next. The order actually should be Scorpions, just in terms of what's going on. It doesn't really matter, of course, but if you want to just tie into what's going on, maybe Scorps, then maybe Motley, if that tour's starting like in June, and then maybe Rat, or maybe Rat Motley, whatever. But the idea about cutting some bands to 10 instead of 20 is just if there's really only 2 or 3 records. Now, when you look at Skid Row, and from Sebastian's vantage point, he's going to say there's only 3 records to pick from because he's on 3 records and an EP. But if we're going to be fair, every top 10 or 20 we've ever done always includes every lineup of the band and every singer that the band has had. And if you're looking at Skid Row's entire history, beyond the 3 records and EP made with Sebastian, there is 2 full-length records that they made with Johnny Solinger, as well as an EP that they made with Johnny. So there is additional music there, and there is another full-length, full album coming very, very soon with their current singer. So although that's not something Sebastian's going to want to talk about and address, obviously, that is the reality. And anytime we've done any band, from Sabbath to you name it, we've always made it about anything that's come out under that name. Regardless if you're into that version of the band or not, anything that has that name on it. Look, if we do Rat, there's a million lineups of Rat. If we do Motley, there's a record with John Corabi. There's records without Tommy Lee. If we do Scorpions, there's records with Yuli. There's records with Matthias. So it's always been the entire history. If we do Guns, we're going to include Chinese Democracy, which of course nobody's on but Axl. So it's always been that. So, you know, you could do 20s on all of these bands depending upon how deep you want to get. But I just think for stuff that's clear cut about really a limited amount of records, the idea was make it 10, it'll go quicker, more people can get involved, it makes it a little tougher. I'm not saying we're going to do any of that. I'm just saying these are ideas that get floated out. I think the biggest thing I need to do is to lock in when the next one's going to be, because we're due to do it, and commit to Scorpions, commit to the time, clear the time in the week, and say, okay, here's where I'm airing the 20, here are the call-in days. And with Scorpions starting in Vegas, ideally, I'd love to get Klaus or Rudolph or one of the guys to sit in on that if we could, if I can time it up that way. But I'm not sure. You know, I'm going back to Vegas in a couple weeks, and I'm going to do some shows from there. But I was looking at Booking Air, and this ties in with what I just talked about a minute ago, with stuff being all over the map with pricing. Needless to say, if gas is going through the roof, clearly so is jet fuel, and who's paying for that? You in the price of plane tickets. And me in the price of plane tickets. So, yeah, things are crazy right now. But anyway, the reason I say that is I'm not sure exactly when I'm going or how long I'm staying or how long I can stay and what my schedule is around it, but I'm going to try to work all this stuff out as we go and see what's available and who's available on any given day. But we will get a good old top 20, and it'll likely be Scorpions next. And we'll get to Motley. Got no problem doing Rat. Got no problem doing Skid Row. But when you get to Skid Row, the question, that's where you can make a valid case of saying, hey, maybe you do 10 on Skid Row. Because I like way more than 10 songs from Skid Row. Of course I do. Way more. And I do like music they made after the first 3 records. Some great songs in there. But the reality is it would be way tougher, and almost everyone would be dealing with the first 2 records, if not the first 3 records. I would certainly be dealing with the third one because it's my favorite record, Subhuman. But that's down the line. We'll see. Let's say hello to Denton. Denton is in Pittsburgh joining us right now. Hi, Denton.
I'm going to get off as soon as I ask my question.